Can synchronicities suddenly become overwhelming spiritual awakening? You glance at the clock, 11:11. A stranger mentions the exact topic you were silently thinking about minutes earlier. The same unusual symbol appears in 3 completely unrelated places within a single day. A song plays with lyrics that seem to answer an inner question you never spoke aloud. At first, these moments feel fascinating. Then they become impossible to ignore. Are they simply coincidences? Or could they be signs that your consciousness is beginning to perceive reality differently? For many people on a spiritual awakening journey, synchronicities often increase dramatically. What once seemed like random chance suddenly feels woven together by an invisible intelligence. But before jumping to conclusions, it is worth understanding what synchronicity actually is and why it can become so overwhelming. Interestingly, the answer may lie somewhere between psychology, consciousness, and spirituality. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Gustav Jung, founder of analytical psychology, introduced the concept of synchronicity in the 1950s. Rather than viewing these events as ordinary coincidences, Jung described synchronicities as meaningful coincidences, events connected not by physical cause and effect, but by meaning to the individual experiencing them. Working alongside Nobel Prize-winning physicist Wolfgang Pauli, Jung explored whether the human mind and the external world might occasionally align in ways conventional science struggled to explain. Their collaboration suggested that consciousness and reality may share deeper patterns than we normally perceive. But why do these experiences often seem to multiply during a spiritual awakening? One possibility comes from the work of Dr. David R. Hawkins, psychiatrist and consciousness researcher, whose writings propose that shifts in consciousness alter how people perceive reality. In books such as Power versus Force, Hawkins suggested that as awareness expands, individuals become increasingly sensitive to subtle patterns, intuitions, and meaningful connections that previously escaped attention. In other words, reality itself may not suddenly become more mysterious. Your awareness may simply be becoming more receptive. And this is where things often become unsettling. Many awakening experiences involve a temporary collapse of old beliefs, identities, and assumptions. During this period, the mind desperately searches for orientation. Because of this heightened sensitivity, synchronistic events can seem to arrive everywhere at once, almost as though life itself has begun speaking a symbolic language. Yet there is another fascinating perspective. Religious scholar Dr. Jeffrey J. Kripal, known for his work on extraordinary human experiences and comparative mysticism, argues that anomalous experiences, including synchronicities, should not always be dismissed as psychological errors. Instead, they deserve careful attention because they may reveal aspects of consciousness that current scientific models have not fully explained. His work encourages openness without abandoning critical thinking, a balance that is especially valuable during spiritual awakening. However, overwhelming synchronicities also carry an important warning. Not every repeated number, dream, encounter, or coincidence automatically contains a divine message. Spiritual traditions across the world consistently advise discernment. An awakened mind should become more peaceful, not more obsessive. If every ordinary event begins demanding interpretation, anxiety can quietly replace wisdom. Healthy spiritual growth allows synchronicities to emerge naturally rather than forcing meaning onto every experience. Perhaps this explains why many contemplative traditions emphasize presence over prediction. When you stop chasing signs, the signs often become clearer. Many people discover that synchronicities become less overwhelming once they stop asking, "What does this mean?" and instead ask, "What is this experience inviting me to become?" That subtle shift changes everything. Instead of using synchronicities to predict the future, they become invitations toward greater self-awareness, compassion, healing, or courage. They point inward more than outward. Ultimately, overwhelming synchronicities may signal less about external miracles and more about an internal transformation already unfolding. Whether viewed through Jung's psychology, Hawkins' consciousness model, Kripal's study of extraordinary experiences, or spiritual traditions around the world, one common thread emerges. Awakening changes perception. You begin noticing patterns that once blended into the background of everyday life. The goal, however, is not to become dependent on signs. It is to become the kind of person who no longer needs constant reassurance because wisdom, intuition, and inner stillness have matured together. In that sense, perhaps the greatest synchronicity is not the repeated numbers or unlikely coincidences. It is discovering that the deepest message was never hidden in the signs themselves, but in the gradual awakening of the one who was learning to notice them all along.